Hello everyone, you're listening to Alternative Revelations with Linda Emanuel, and this is podcast number 78, and it's a good podcast. I have good news for a change, and I first have to say that if this resonates with you, so be it. If not, just disregard it. Now, I did come out with a podcast yesterday. I was pretty gloomy about the lockdown, but there is really good news about the whole thing. Now, to explain what is going on right now, I'm going to be explaining history, 200 or 300 years of history in like a couple of minutes, so it's going to be speed dial history. But our forefathers, if you read the Crown Temple article I posted on my website, we never were a true country. We never became our own country. Our forefathers who signed the Constitution and Bill of Rights, they were tricked by the Crown Temple in the city of London. King George was part of it. Ben Franklin was a traitor. I believe Samuel Adams and John Jay, they were all for the Crown Temple. And the forefathers were tricked. And then they set up foreign corporations to run our country. And I think back then they let our Ben Franklin borrowed 1.4 million francs from the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, knowing that they would go bankrupt, and sure enough they did. And then in the Civil War, I believe Abraham Lincoln bankrupted us from that war, which was a corporate law, really not a war between about slavery, but it was a Vatican law, a war brought on by the Jesuits. And then in 1930, a corporation is allowed to do 3 bankruptcies, and I believe in the meantime there was another corporation formed when one went bankrupt. Well, we had another bankruptcy in 1930, and FDR, who was a traitor, he had pledged our land to another bankruptcy, and then he had pledged our very souls with the birth certificates for collateral for the debt. And then in 2000, another 70 years later, every 70 years a corporation can go bankrupt. We went bankrupt again. And if you remember when Bush and Cheney had gone down to Florida to be elected president, and a judge had nominated them for presidency, and when they came back to Washington, D.C., they were partying like there was no tomorrow. And the reason they were partying was that bankruptcy in 2000. They had vacated Washington, D.C. for 90 days, and the Crown Temple was getting ready to come in and claim America. And the New World Order, they were celebrating the beginning of the New World Order was going to come in, and we were going to be serfs again. So what happened was a man by the name of Russell Gould came in and captured the flag and saved us at that time, saved us from going into the New World Order. And here we didn't even know about it. And I am going to post his video, or the link for that video for you to watch. So here in 2016, we're still in bankruptcy as of the 2000. Well, in 2016, Trump put us into reorganization. And the note was due on January 16 of this year. Well, the corporation who was running our country, they didn't pay the note, and it became due. And then there was a 90 days where they vacated Washington, D.C. again. And the reason this pandemic served 2 purposes. It created a reason for them to lock us down into our houses. And the New World Order was supposed to kick in. This is what Creator's telling me, and this is what I'm gathering from history and from the events. And the New World Order was going to kick in, and it would be really easy for them to round us up, the people who would be a threat to the New World Order, to round us up, put us in the FEMA camps, execute us, and also execute a lot of people. But Anna von Reitz, Creators told me, Anna von Reitz stopped at this time. I'm going to leave an article she wrote and sent to the Pope on March 13th of 2020, and let me tell you the name of that. It's called The Second Decree Over Mandate, and she published it on the 13th day of March 2020, and she sent it to Queen Elizabeth II and the Pope. Now, she was also, I'm going to put this article posted on the link on my website, and also this this exposed the fraud that these two entities have caused over the last umpteen years on the American people. Now, what this is happening is this. The Crown Temple was going to come in and enact the New World Order. And this is causing this article that she sent to the Pope and Queen. This is what Creator's telling me. This is going to cause a stalemate. And they're not going to do it. They're not going to come in, round us all up, and put us in FEMA camps. And that what was this? There was two purposes of this lockdown: to lock us down so we would be like cattle in pens. It would be very easy to round us up. But, even if we go through this lockdown, the lockdown is still scheduled. But don't be afraid of this. We can get through this. And they will not be able to pull the wool over our eyes very much longer. There's many citizen journalists exposing that this is a phony pandemic, that people who are dying died of something else. They won't be able to keep the wool over our eyes very much longer. So again, she's caused a stalemate, but that doesn't mean that we are safe. The same regime will be going on. Your Bill Gates, your Bill Clinton, your Hillary Clinton, whoever else, the Pope, the Black Pope, the Jesuits, they're all still going to be doing their same thing, is trying to bring the New World Order in and making us all slaves. So we have to do something. We have to step up. We have to take back our country peacefully. So we will not be going into the New World Order. And many people in America won't even know how close again we came to going into slavery again. And when the New World Order means Inquisition. No Jew will be safe. No Protestant will be safe. They would have come in and executed all of us. It would have been a bloodbath, but it's not going to happen now. But we have to do something about it. We can't sit back and let this happen again. We have to do something, and we have to do something peacefully. We cannot outgun these people. These people have weapons that could vaporize us. So we have to do it peacefully, and that's the way of the Creator, through the light. So the only way that I have found that is possible is surrendering your birth certificate to the U.S. Treasury, filling out your paperwork, declaring that you are born of the land, that you are a state national, that you are sovereign, and you are no longer under their jurisdiction, their maritime, territorial, municipal jurisdiction. They will not be able to take your children away from you. They will not be able to force you to get a vaccination. They will not be able to chip you, because it's not going to change. We have not gotten rid of the people that are the root of this problem, and it's going to take many years. And Creator has told me that I will not be here when it's finally takes place. My grandchildren will see it, but I'm here for the duration to help make it happen. I will serve my Creator any way I can, even if I have to lay my life down. And no, nobody's threatened me, but they've kind of hidden me away. If you found me, it's kind of fluky because Google and YouTube suppress me. But if I can help people along the way, do whatever I can to serve Creator, serve people. So that's what I'm all here for, to really help make this happen. Creator knows I am not a quitter. I will not back down. But I'm really behind this movement. Anna von Reitz, you want to stay away from any movement that wants to print their own money. Anna von Reitz's group is not trying to print money. They're just trying to get our sovereignty back, go back to the land. That's all this is about. And if you're interested in being part of history, being part of creating a new country, so be it. But if you just want to sit and watch, that's okay too. We need cheerleaders. We need an audience to applaud us and to cheer us on. So whatever, just be of the light, be positive, be happy, be blessed that you've got what you got. And even though I don't have much, I am so grateful that I have a roof over my head, and I do have my health back, and God seems to always provide for what I need. So again, be positive. Creator is telling me as of their plans right now, there will be a lockdown 2 weeks from this weekend. But don't be afraid. They really can't keep it going because they can't pull the wool over the people's eyes very long, because this pandemic is fake. People are proving the deaths are fake. So just hang in there and keep faith in God. And that's all I can say. So I'm going to end this podcast and say my usual: be aware, prepare, and be safe, and be grateful for what you have. And until next time, good night and God bless.